Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and welcome to our Decisions Daily Lunch and Learn. My name is Brandon Roberts. I'm part of the support team, and I'll be leading and answering questions that anyone might have. So we'll give it a few minutes for people to join, and then we'll go ahead and get started. And I see Chad. Hey, Chad, how you doing? Jeremy, how you guys doing today? So Matthias just came in. We also have Andrew from our Andrew there. How you doing? Does anyone have any questions? We currently don't have any pre-submitted questions. Oh, and I see Marcus. How you guys doing? Did you guys have questions? Need help with anything? All right, so it's pretty quiet. So I'll go ahead and I'll start doing a little demo of some of the tools we use to support. Let me change my screen share real quick to my decisions instance here. So everyone should be seeing my decisions instance right now. Right now I'm on an older version. Here, I think I'm on 7.5 testing something for another client. But let's see. So some of the tools that we use for sort of performance handling, one first is sort of logging. You get an idea what's running on the machine. I think everyone here is pretty sort of up to date there. Oh, and I will actually. Oh, actually, let me table that real quick because I just saw we have some questions. Okay, so around create database index option on an edit data structure form. Is it fully functional? If so, can you just show them how I would add a table index using that option? Let's see. Let me look at that real quick. So I'm assuming when you create like a data structure, define database structure, let's see. Is this the you're referring to, or is what type of, actually, we can take you off of mute. Marcus, can you go a little bit more into, is this like on defined data structure, or is this like simple data structures?
Hey, Brandon. I think this is going to be, I don't know if you have the option on creation of a data type. I think it's any data type that's already been determined. So if you create a type here, oh, here we go, in the advanced. So it's not showing in advanced right now, but I think if you create that structure and then we go back to edit, I think we can see that option.
Okay, so then edit this under advanced. Let's see.
I'm still muted. Yeah, right there, the second checkbox underneath advanced.
Oh, create database index. So then this creates a database index. Index values are unique. Let's see, I've never actually worked with this before.
Yeah, and it looks like potentially in your version too, it's not showing in our version, it has a list box or like a simple text box where you can add parameters or like the table name or the column names, but it doesn't look like that's showing for you. So I was just curious more so around if that was something that you guys had a little bit more information on, because the the documentation states that we are able to create table indexing, but it doesn't say anything about this feature. So I was just curious if it's something you guys had fully tested yet.
So it can be added, but I don't have information on how that fully works. I don't think we've updated documentation. So then let me put in a note to get that updated for that. Database index on data structure form menu. Okay, what we can do, and I'll create a ticket, and so we can track that better, so we can get a better answer for you guys.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
Yep. And I see then, second question from the anonymous attendee, why SOAP service integrations not supported in Docker? Do we not support that in Docker? Let me double check that real quick. I don't even know. Well, we still do support SOAP, but I think that might be going away just because SOAP is also, I thought SOAP was getting removed anyway. That may be why it's not supported. Is it specific? Well, I don't know if this user's on. Is it specific? Is it specific to using just Docker, or have they tested this with any other sort of like container services? I'll come back to that one if I can get an answer there. Second question, there was another pre-submitted question. What's the easiest way to upload a heavy database to Decisions? Also have some doubts regarding some phantom edits there. I guess if we're uploading a database, I guess I need more specifics there. We wouldn't be really uploading a database. Now we would connect to an external database. And if it's like a heavy database, like a large size, that'd probably be set up by whatever we're using. We're using like MySQL or MS SQL or Azure, however we're standing up that database. But standard would be you would run the installer and just point it to that database. Or if you need to integrate it, we would create like a database integration with that. Don't know if, let's see. Matthias, you're here. Can we take Matthias off of mute and he can explain his case a little bit better? Okay, Matthias. Yep.
Oh, thank you very much. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Oh, it's my first time attending one of these. Thank you. So our current situation doesn't allow us to connect straight to a SQL database from the installation process, let's say. We're using cloud-based Decisions, and our company has all of its databases like sequestered inside its own intranet. It's very private. So we are currently managing the installation of the Decisions agent, but meanwhile we have to work with the Decisions internal databases. And that means that we have to manually use large CSV files and upload them to a database data type right onto the Decisions platform. So far, we have encountered a maximum size of 1 MB. So that's why whenever we have a larger database, we are at odds on what to do.
So what action are you using? Are you using the import like from CSV action?
Yes.
Okay. So the import from CSV is a flow. So in decisions, if you have like designer or admin access, I believe it's import CSV, import from CSV, CSV, import to import CSV. I believe is this the there is, let me find the flow real quick. Standard in catalog.
Maybe it's import CSV entities.
That may be the flow. There is a flow there. And in that flow, CSV entities. Is that one word? There we go. Yes. This, where is the actual upload form? There should be an upload form. There should be, is this the sample form? Upload file to import. So here you can set the file to be what you need it to be. So right now, I think, yeah, by default it is about like 1 MB, but you can set that to be a larger file size. And then that should allow you to upload like a larger CSV if you need to.
Great. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay. And to answer the question about SOAP service integration not supporting Docker, it's not that we don't support it. It's just us including it. We don't include them because that require some SDK work that would double the image size. So that's the current reason as to why they're not submitted like out. It's not supported like outside the box with the like Docker. It requires some SDK work. If we would like that, I believe the best course here to be submit a ticket to our support team, so then we can have a discussion with our team internally, and then figure out if we want if we can just create an image to include that support or include that as well. Is this an attendee on? I'd like to hear your use case there.
No, like I mean, this should work. This works on my local. I can't get PowerShell like on there.
And then there's another question in how to map more than 99 fields from or to Excel. $1 million question. This trying to think of the best way to do this. So we have a CSV. So here's C to Excel. No, that's not the step I'm looking for. We have our Excel steps. We have import CSV for each CSV or row. So I've had this question before, and I can't remember the exact way to do this. Let me think here. Okay, so we'll be using imports Excel or CSV step here. And so the way to work around this, the way we would do this is to create like a data structure with more than 99 rows, and then use an imports Excel or CSV step to that. With that, we can output the data type that we have with like multiple rows here. Say we have a data, well, we create a data structure type with 100 fields, right? Or 200 or however many fields we need. We would create a data structure type that has the amount of fields that we need. And then we would use this import Excel or CSV step there. Once we have that step, there is this the right one? Then we'll be able to actually edit the input mappings. And then from there, we'll be able to input the CSV rows, or we'll be able to map the CSV fields to the data structure fields. So if we have one that has more than 99 fields, that'd be the way to do it. What's the best way to replace only first instance of match text in string? There's already the replace step. There's an instance, get instance, remove string after. Let's see, there's a remove string. There's only a replace step. To replace with. We have a string. There's no easy way. Let me think. Place text. See. No, give a string.
Actually,
So we can remove text off that instance. Move string after instance, move up to the first instance, so we can remove the first instance of a string. So our change, we can sensitive input string. Even if we remove it,
I think you would have to use both of those steps.
that's what I'm thinking. I'm
Mhm.
trying to, we probably have to use these in conjunction, but I can't think
Yep.
of the right way to do it right now. We'd have to replace it.
Yeah, we would split the string using this step to split the string.
This returns a string list, or this returns just a string. We'd have to split this. We'd have to.
Yeah,
We'd
so
probably have to split
this
the
would,
string.
yeah,
into
this would remove the first part of it and then run it again with the original string to remove the end of it, and then replace the text that we want to replace, and then add those two bits together to create the string again, which is a bit of work.
Yeah, this isn't like an easy. This isn't an easy ask here. Is it possible? How are we generating this? I wonder if we're curious how we're generating the string. Are we using like an end velocity step, or? But we'll need to. Yeah, we'll need to use a remove string. We need to use the remove string up to the nth instance for the instance piece, and then we'll need to use a replace text string to actually put the new
Mhm.
the new text in there. Yeah, this will require a lot of this requires some work to sort of figure out as far as logic goes. But I guess that'll just depend on like if how it suits your needs there.
But maybe
Which-
this is something we could add as a feature request on the
Yeah.
replace text, as you know, replacing the first instance or maybe replacing the last instance type of option.
Yeah, I think that would be a good feature request, so I can put that in. These are some good questions. Keep them up. Let's see. Let's see. Did anyone else have any other questions right now? Let's see, we got a lot more people on now. Let's see then. We have another. Okay, index of an instance as input. Let me put that note there too. Okay, yep, I have that noted there. Let's see. Okay, so then I'll just go through really quick on some tools that we use in support to sort of, not even sort of, to help us sort of to troubleshoot issues here. So first tool, I'm sure many of you guys are, been exposed to it because we ask it all the time in the support team, is for the logs. So it's pretty simple, system tools and logging. That's why I have logs for most of the work that gets done. You can specify log categories here. Actually, I don't want to do that. You can specify log categories here. Now this will look different in newer versions. I'm using an older version of 7 here. In this version, you can select them. You will also be able to enable and disable category, log levels here where you can enable, disable, warn error and debug and info. Now, in newer versions, we allow this to be done for every single category. So you can specify if you want a specific category to be like a fatal level or an error level or just a debug level log there. The next tool is the profiler. This is something used if you want to sort of check the performance on your instance. So if you're seeing slows, if you're seeing slowdown, you could use this here to sort of see what's taking up most time. And to answer your question there, are there any issues with self-licensing features and containers in private network? Yes, that will require, if you want to use a self-licensing feature, that will require like an actual connection to like our support portal. I believe Tirade, it requires an internet connection if you want to use a self-licensing feature, because that's where we actually get the license pulled from and generated from and all that sort of stuff. So you have like a private network or with a firewall, you'll need to allow traffic from support.decisions.com to use the self-licensing feature. The next piece I want to cover real quick, or as far as tools go, is the flow management tool. This shows now there's empty flow, so there's nothing really running, but there was running. You'd be able to see most of what's running here, as well as steps that you can sort of roll back to. We have the runnings flows list. So if there are any flows running on your environment, you'd see them here, and the integration activities. Both in and out, if that's the question for the license piece, yes. Is there a setting to show your type password on the login screen? Let's double check. I don't know if that is in newer. I don't know if it's in this older version. Maybe in newer versions. Let's see. Word. Password. Don't see it there. Let me check something else real quick. I don't think that's an option. Let me just read. No, I don't believe we currently have that. I can also submit that as a feature request, like a show password. Let me just. Yeah, it doesn't look like currently that's possible. So we'll need to put in future requests for that.
Brandon, real quick, looks like we do have a dev ticket in for that feature.
The show
It just
password.
came in. Yep.
Okay, great. So we're already on it, and we'll probably get that in the product in one of the future releases. Why does decision self-licensor need to reach out to the instance behind secure network? Because that's where we generate that's where we actually generate them. So we need to accept traffic to that network so we can generate the license, and then we need to be able to send that license back for it to pull. Uh, Back to where I was. I was at the flow management tool, right? And integration activities is a great way, or the best way, to figure out if you're sending emails out properly. If the decision's just failing to send emails, you'll get a notification, or not notification, you'll get a log here. It'll show what's failing and the failed reason here. If you don't see any failure reasons here, then most likely the email is being sent from decisions. It might be just being blocked by whatever SMTP server you're sending, or like a firewall or something like that. Then we have the event viewer. This is really good to sort of capture things like boot history. So if you should see maybe the servers went down or something, or you're not sure, you can always check here. You can also see upgrades here. You'll be able to see the scheduled job log. So if you think your scheduled jobs are failing, you can always check here. We also have a code bucket to see if there's any issues with your code compiling here. Data structure status to see if the data structure status is in a bad state. You can see active users, logged in users right here. And we've added some more in future versions. I believe one of them is a heaviest query sort of report. So you can see any SQL queries that you're running on decisions and see like the heaviest ones, which ones are taking the most time to execute. And then you can, sort of troubleshoot from there. So those are some of the basics things, or some of the basic tools that we use. And those are like the tools I'd suggest if you are hitting problems or you need to get started sort of figuring out how to troubleshoot decisions. Those are like the first tools I would look into there. Does anyone else have any questions?
Brandon, I know for Chad and Marcus, thread jobs is a really good report that we use, especially if we're using a lot of async processes. Allows us to see those queues of some of those processes running when they start to
Yes.
build up. Yep.
Yeah, that is actually a really good point, Andrew. So the standard, well, right now I have a lot of things going on right now, but normally you'll see less of thread jobs. You'll see like a smaller number of thread jobs. I have a lot of stuff running right now when I'm testing. So this number is well, it isn't too high. It's a little higher than normal, but normal thread job counts are a little bit, or below 100. So if you see like a huge number here, like maybe like 500 or 700 flows, then that's a good starting point. That something is sort of preventing the rest of your flows from executing. That's a good point to look at. You'll be able to see, what's running and what's waiting here according to the state. And so you can sort of figure out, hey, I have this one flow that's just taking a long time that's running. That's most likely like your culprit that's causing issue there. And I don't see any more questions, so I think we're good to end it here. Thank you guys for joining us today. I think tomorrow, let me see who we have on the docket for tomorrow. Tomorrow we have
Yeah.
Morgan on.
Mhm.
So they're part of our internal product team. So they do a lot of the cool like building and sort of logic sort of work on like how some of our other products work. So if you want to sort of get an inside out on a real designer, I do more support work. So building and designing isn't my strong suit, but figuring out why something is broken is my strong suit. But they are good at sort of building stuff and making our product even better. So come in and join us and just talk with Morgan, and they'll be able to give you some answers to some of the tougher design questions. All righty, everyone. You guys have a great day, and look forward to speaking to more of you guys soon.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you, Brandon.
No problem. Have a good one.
How going, y'all?